What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Sarkis Unlocked. Today we are sitting in 362 Marlborough Street in Boston's Back Bay, and we're going to welcome a very special guest who actually set us up for success to sell this home. Sylvanna from Boston Home Stagers. We're excited to meet you. Sylvanna, thanks for being here today.
Hi, thanks for having me. We've already met, by the way.
Yes, we have. We've known each other for a very long time.
Yep.
And we are sitting at 362 Marlborough Street.
Yes.
A home that you brought to life, really, executed an amazing stage. A lot of people that we actually showed this home to didn't even know that it was staged. They thought people were living here. So great job.
Thank you.
But let's get started so people can get to know you a little better. Obviously, I know you, but the audience does not, and that's why we're here. So why did you start Boston Home Stagers, and how did you actually get into this business and in this industry? What made you do it, and why did you do it?
It's a good question. So I've always been into interior design ever since I've been a kid. Like, I would rearrange my bedroom so many times. My mom wanted to kill me, and tried to paint it with how many times I could get away with it, but constantly doing things like that. And then as I got older, helping family and friends just for fun, like doing it on the side as a hobby.
Myself being one of them.
Yourself being one of them. And for those who don't know, I'm George's sister-in-law, which is the reference we keep pointing to. But I worked at a corporate job for over 10 years, and honestly, thanks to you, so you obviously had me stage a couple houses back in the day just for fun on the side.
For free, couple times.
For free. Honestly, most of them were for free. But I loved it. And like, when you're doing a job that you love, it doesn't really feel like a job. I'm sure you know that with your, like, you're so passionate about what you do.
I do love what I do.
So last year, I started doing it a little bit more on the side during my full-time corporate job, and I was like, I don't want to do both of these things at the same time. Like, I want to commit to what I actually love. So I quit my corporate job and just started a staging business, which was crazy, but honestly, I am so happy that I did it.
I remember we talked about it so many times. Obviously, our team works with a number of stagers, Sylvanna being one of them. And I just would always tell you, I was like, because once I didn't want to, overwork you. So it was really like when you had some free time. If it wasn't, a bigger home, it was, maybe a small condo, or you actually even helped me stage an Airbnb of my own, or actually furnish it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Small studio. That was about a 220 square foot studio in Beacon Hill.
Yep.
So I think that's the first time we ever worked together.
That was the first time, yeah.
And you actually even cleaned it for me a couple times.
I used to clean it. I would go after work, my miserable corporate job, and I was like, I want to make extra money, and I would go and clean it, bring like my cleaning gear.
It was so funny.
Yeah, it was so funny.
So, I'm very proud of you, and I think you are just getting started. You have staged how many homes now total?
26, 27.
26, 27.
Yeah.
And this is your first year. Boston Home Stagers has it even been a year yet?
It'll be a year November 1st.
November 1st.
Yep. So I quit my job, and my last day at my job was October 31st. So Friday would have been a year. Would be a year.
Wow.
I know.
We should have a 1 year anniversary
party. We really should.
So obviously 27 stages. You learn a lot. 27 homes, different homes you're staging. We'll get into some of these homes in a couple minutes. But, as I mentioned, this home that we staged looks beautiful.
This one was fun.
And I would definitely give you credit for the fact that we have this under contract now. But what are some of the challenges? Some are easier than others. All businesses, specifically when you just get started, have growing pains, and obviously you don't know if it's going to work, if it's not going to work, so you're kind of limited to resources, finances, everything. And
correct.
Tell me a little bit about some of these challenges.
Yeah. So being business owner and dealing with your own challenges is one thing, but having a business where logistics are the primary like portion of your business is a whole other thing. Like the logistical stuff that we would run into, for example, inventory, acquiring inventory. Like your entire overhead as a stager is your inventory. That is your job. Like, yes, it's me, but it's also the pieces that I put into a home. Space, that's a whole other thing. So it's like you're dealing with finding inventory, dealing with where you're going to put it, and then movers. Like when I first started, I would physically move the items on my own. Like I would do it. And occasionally I would get help from my dad before he tore his rotator cuff. But like I would just like find whomever could help me. So those are like probably the biggest three things that you run into, because obviously when you have, like when money isn't an object, like you can hire movers to do everything. But when you're starting a business, you can't.
And you also have to make sure that even if you do have the money, like what's your bottom line? Are you profiting? Are you not?
Correct.
Some movers are expensive.
Movers are super expensive, yeah.
And you also have an investment to protect in the furniture.
Correct.
So you talked about space. So obviously the growing pains of inventory, number one, you can't stage a home if you don't have inventory.
Nope.
And storing that inventory is very important. And I know that I've heard you kind of stress about, furniture storage and where you're putting it. And where did you start storing this furniture?
Oh gosh, extra space storage.
Wow.
And then it went from 1 bay to 2 to 3, and finally we're able to afford a warehouse where we can actually see all of our inventory, which is new and exciting. So I cannot wait to actually organize it and be able to walk into it like it's a shop. And it's just like, it's so much more efficient now, right? Like I can see everything.
That's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. Are you moved in?
Yeah, moved in.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me, because I'm obviously in a lot of homes, either touring or showing, I'd say on average 50 homes a week. And I would give myself a little credit that I do have an eye. I do, have decent taste when it comes to furniture design. Floor plans are very important. Understanding space is important. But obviously as a stager, your goal is to really, analyze the space, but also try to have a good idea of who's going to be buying the home and who's going to be moving in. Because, a 30-year-old athlete who doesn't have a family, compared to a family with 2 younger kids, the space is going to be different, laid out differently. People are going to use different rooms. And how do you kind of bridge that gap of kind of finding a happy medium for a space? And what is the first thing that you do if I call you, or any agent or any seller or developer calls you, and you get to a home? You park your car, you walk in the front door. What's the first thing Sylvanna from Boston Home Stagers does?
We walk through. We walk through each room. Obviously address the more obvious rooms, like what they are, and then walk through what we're planning on staging, right? Because you're not going to stage every single room in a house. Fiscally, that really doesn't make sense for anyone, and also it's not necessary. Like a bedroom is a bedroom. Like people can envision what they're going to put there, but walking through, determining what rooms we're going to stage, and then from there, obviously it's the more boring stuff, but it's like I would need a floor plan, talk to the agent about what that would cost, what that would look like, and their timeline. Timeline is super important. If they're like, can you get this done for me tomorrow? You can't. Like it requires, letting...
Logistics. You talked about movers.
Exactly.
What do you have for inventory?
Yeah. And it's not a one-day turnaround,
and
right?
It seems like I've been following you on social media, and just like, I don't even know you. One day you're in South Boston, one day you're in Andover, one day you're in Wenham. You're all over. You were in Watertown a couple weeks ago. It's like you're
driving around Mass.
You're driving around Massachusetts. and you're busy. So, we talk about growing pains. We talk about, growing too fast and obviously like having realistic expectations. One piece of advice I gave you when you started and you asked me for some business advice, and I told you, I said, have systems and processes, but also never overpromise and underdeliver.
No.
Because, and you're actually really good at that, especially like, I know how you are. If you commit to something, you're committed.
Doing it.
Like I remember, a couple months ago, I asked you, I think we tried to go out for something or there was an event, and you said you had dinner that you had planned like 6 weeks ago with a friend, and you're not going to flake.
No.
And I said, this is a great event to go to, but you were committed to it.
I was committed.
Which is great. I would have probably, called,
Bailed.
made up an excuse and went out to the event if it was going to be a little more enjoyable and beneficial for me. But
Yeah, I guess that's a good and bad thing when it comes to staging, though.
yeah,
It's like,
you when you commit, you want to stick to it,
Yeah.
and you don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. So people are calling you, and I mean, for the people listening, if someone wants to stage a home, next week, or like, what is Sylvanna and Boston Home Stagers, lead time? Like, what do you need to actually execute at your highest level?
Yep.
And what do you need for a timeline to be
Yep.
set up for success for not only you, but for also the agent or the homeowner?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think a good
That's
lead
good
time
question.
is?
So a good lead time, also it depends on the time of the year, of course. Like we are busy right now because we're getting into the holiday season. So it depends on that. My favorite types of projects that are coming up are the ones where I know like 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. I'm not saying that all of them have to be 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time, but it just gives me time to prep. It gives me time to figure out what furniture I'm putting in there. It gives me time to schedule things, right? But I do have clients, who sometimes will reach out to me and be like, can you do this next week? And it's like, I can. I might have 5 stages this week or that week, and I'll be exhausted, but it's worth it. I'll do it. We're good. So as much time as possible, and of course things change, right? Like,
Of course.
if it's a new construction and it gets pushed out,
Yep,
that's one
delays.
thing. Delays. There are
We
delays
don't like
all the time.
we don't like delays either.
Yeah, and of course, like we're on the same page, but it's good to know like a couple weeks ahead of time.
A couple weeks
Yeah,
ahead of time.
yeah.
All right. So we've heard about some of the challenges in starting a business. We heard why you got started, and we heard that you've had 27 plus stages, and the phone is ringing and the emails are coming in. Let's talk about one of your success stories. Like, what is a success story that you've had? One of your most, memorable stages where you were like, wow, the feedback's been great.
Yeah, I can think of a couple. So
I mean, I can think of one, we're sitting in it, but
this is definitely this one was stunning. And you told me that they thought that people were living in it.
and I'll touch on this after because I am a testimonial for you during
Totally.
this segment. But
Yeah.
you go first.
I staged a house in Burlington, probably like 8,000 square feet or so.
Yep.
And it was a new construction, absolutely like beautiful finishes, etc. And I staged it, and it was on the market for 3 days. I think 3 days, and they put an offer in, and they said to me afterwards, because the buyers reached out personally, and were like, we primarily bought this house because of the furniture that you had in it. And then they asked if I would help them buy furniture for their new house. So that, if that's not a success story, I don't know what is. But
How did that feel?
so good, because I was at that house for 3 days.
And sometimes it's really
Yeah.
not about. I mean, you made a comment in the beginning of this that that I'm passionate about what I do, and the reason why I love what I do is, I mean, the smile on a buyer's face on the day they close on a home, the voice and excitement I hear from a developer or a seller when I tell them we have an offer. And for me also, like, just coaching my team, like,
Yeah.
and seeing others do well and succeed is, I mean, it's surreal. it really brings joy and happiness to me. And it's what I do. It's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
But like for you to hear that,
It's amazing.
It must have been way more than the financial benefits and monetary wins.
Well, I know that I love my job because like I feel satisfaction even before that. Like I feel satisfaction when I'm like putting the finishing touches on things and I'm like, oh my God, this looks so good.
Yeah, you're also a perfectionist though.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And that's one thing I've told you. I was like, when volume starts picking up and the phone starts ringing, if the pillow isn't set in its perfect
Karate
location.
chopped.
I remember one time I got photos back for a listing that you helped with. It was actually Jaylen Brown's brick and beam penthouse.
Oh, yeah.
And I got photos back and I was like, these photos are awesome. You killed it, Sylvanna. Like, let's go. And you called me like 2 times, like 3 or 4 times in a row. I was like, what the is she doing? Pardon my French. And you called me, you go, what is this? And I go, what do you mean? She goes, the bed sheets are not how I had them. I didn't know that you actually were ironing the bed sheets the night before.
100%.
And you had them perfectly laid out. And I guess someone ended up staying there for the night and tried to make up the bed, but clearly it wasn't to your...
I was so upset. I was like, I cannot believe this is all over social media. Like,
and I didn't think it was that big of a deal,
No, it
but
was a
clearly
big deal.
you did.
Because there's a lot of time that goes into even just like something stupid like the bedding. Like you want to make sure that it's perfect, and then when the photos come out, like that's like the seal. That's like it's being showcased to the world.
And it's your portfolio.
Yeah, exactly.
It's your branding.
Yeah.
It's your hard work. Specifically, the fact that you were there for like 3-4 hours ironing bed sheets and comforters and everything else. So
You can't have wrinkly
I get
comforters.
it.
Like, you just can't.
I completely get it.
Yep.
And I mean, I feel like the fact that obviously you're in interior design, you do interior design as well,
Yep.
but we're here to talk about BHS. And, you know, that's the difference because, like, you're a stager and you also work with homeowners who are looking to design their house
Yep.
and they're actually living there.
Yeah.
So, like, what are those?
Like an occupied stage?
Yeah, like because like not an occupied stage. Just like you're helping with their design of their home and buying furniture that they're gonna live. Yeah. That they're gonna live in. And obviously, like even you are passionate about like furnishing your home and where you live.
Yeah.
And everything else, but like, and I've had to tell you a couple times, it doesn't have to be perfect. And you know, like you said earlier, you're not going to stage every room.
No.
But how, and you're in the business to make money, are you not?
I am in the business to make money, but I also want to be truthful and like, you know, I want to make sure that I'm setting myself up, setting my client up for like success for themselves too. I'm not going to just like ring someone out and be like, let's stage everything, because that's a waste of money. And honestly, kind of a waste of my time. Like I would rather stage the rooms and the places where clients are going to walk through. It's not like, yes, of course, I'm working to make a living, but I want to be truthful to people and not just take their money because I can. That's not right.
I understand that. But if you had to cut some corners,
Okay.
because once again, I mean, Starbucks just closed locations, and I can even tell a powerhouse like Starbucks, they're getting a little cheap on their cups and on their straws. Specifically when I put the straw in, there's a little crack at the bottom.
Are they not double cupping you anymore?
They double cup me, but sometimes even though my Starbucks name is George Double Cup, you know that.
I know that.
But they're sometimes playing stupid and not double cupping it. And, I didn't realize that. I mean, how obvious could it be?
The name is George Double Cup.
But if you're going to cut some corners and try to cut some costs to be more profitable as a home stager and try to be somewhat strategic where it doesn't, because I've seen a lot of home stagers. I've used probably 20 of them since I started in real estate, and believe me, some of them look like they're buying furniture from Target, or they're picking it up off the side of the street because someone wanted to throw it away. And I've had some very bad experiences. And
don't hate on Target though. I love their.
I'm not hating on
furniture
Target. Maybe I use a bad example. I don't even know.
No, I know what you're saying.
But bottom line is, it just doesn't look, up to par.
Yeah.
And it definitely didn't fit, the
vibe.
listing and the vibe itself, because they're just taking furniture and throwing it. in a listing, in a home where it's not aesthetically
Correct.
the same vibe. And you, as we said, are a perfectionist, but where do you have to draw that line? Because
I
you
understand
can't
that, though.
charge, you're capped at what an agent can charge.
Yep.
Like what an agent's going to pay, even though we at the Sarkis team don't pay for home staging. We put it on the developer, we put it on the homeowner. Because the way I look at staging, it's like, it's not my responsibility to make sure the home is perfect. Now we help and we can give guidance and make the introductions, but it gets expensive.
It does.
And depending on what the list price is and everything else, like where do we save?
So that's a good question. And honestly, like when you were just describing those other stagers you used, I understand the struggle. Like I get that, like not having inventory that's like right for the job. You have to say no sometimes.
So you have to say no.
You have to say no. Like if I don't have the proper, like if you had asked me to stage this and I was in a position not to, it's like, I'm not going to let you down. I'm not going to put, Target furniture in a $11 million house. I'm not. So like you have to be strategic.
You actually got a little more than 11, but it's okay.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Probably thanks to me. But
yeah.
You
I already
you
gave
have
you all
to
the
say
I
no.
gave you credit, but you don't get all the credit. I'll tell you that.
You have to say no.
And that's
it
real.
stinks. Yeah,
that's
stinks.
real.
Yeah.
That's what people want. That's what most people in business should do.
Yeah.
It's like when you get a general contractor to your house, you get an electrician to your house, and you say, hey, I want to, do this and do that. They're like, yeah, no problem. We'll get you next week. And they don't come for 2-3 weeks. And it's like then the client starts getting pissed off, and the reputation is so important. We're in a small city, but no matter where you are,
Correct.
You want people to have a good experience, because no matter what you're making on that one deal, people have heard me say this time and time again. We're not in the business to just do one deal with someone. We're in the business to do 100+
Correct.
deals
Yep.
over time. You're just getting started. Your career, you have so much more to learn and so much more to grow.
Totally.
And you want to start off strong. You want to start off with raving fans.
Yeah, I don't want to overpromise. And so like I had to learn that it's okay to say no. Even though that means one less paycheck, it's okay to say no. Because I want to do it right.
That's real.
Yeah,
That's
I
real.
want to do it right.
So we've heard some of your challenges. We've heard some of your success stories. Tell me a little bit about some trends that are happening now. Like, I think I'm in the know, but like I've seen some pretty cool tones in this home. I would have never been able to like find these colors, and I feel like, they just really fit the script and like your
Thanks.
But like, tell me, if you're out there looking to design your own home, or you're looking to, pick up a couple things that maybe Pinterest or some of these other, Instagram handles aren't going to tell you, like, what are you seeing out there? What are some new trends that, you're seeing?
So I don't know if you're going to like this answer or not, but I'm not really a trend follower when it comes to home stuff. Like you've seen my house. You hate like 80% of it.
I don't hate 80%
yes, you do.
of it.
You hate it. It's fine, and that's okay. I'm not a trendsetter when it comes to home stuff. I'm not really even with clothes, but it's just like I kind of go into a house and I'm like, what is the vibe in here? Like, I don't want everything to look Studio McGee, Magnolia, perfect, like no one lives in it. Like, you want to make it look like someone has lived in that house, and clearly it's that, like, mindset's been working. Because I don't know, like, yes, there are some like cookie cutter houses where I'll use, couch A for that house, couch A for that house. But like, I try and make each house different and special to its uniqueness. Like that's what I try and do.
I like that. Different.
Thanks. Different. Mm-hmm.
You want to be different.
Yes. Like I won't buy like a neon green couch, but like I'll buy things like accessories.
You had a green couch, and listen, clearly I love the color green.
Yeah, no,
if you don't know what I drive,
no.
If you don't know for what I drive, then I drive a green car. Yeah. I'm a big believer, and you have to be different. I tell my team, and I really follow there are 4 boxes, there are 4 lines in a square, and we want to be out of that and be a little different and kind of walk a fine line, be disruptive.
You have to stand out.
You have to stand out, especially in competitive industries like yourself, competitive industries that I'm in. But one thing is, first off, thank you so much for being here. I
course.
learned a lot. But I want to just share a quick story, and then we'll wrap this up. We're in 362 Marlborough Street. We've had this listing off market for about 6 months. This was not staged, and it wasn't in the best showing condition. It was actually rented out. There was a tenant in here. They moved out. We were able to, get the sellers, contractors in, touch it up, get the home ready. You were able to stop, drop, and roll and stage this in record time, 3 to 4 days. You almost killed me, but you did it. And once again, we were priced at the same number. It wasn't about the price. We were off market, and we were showing the home. Same finishes, everything. The tenant moved out. We cleaned up the space.
I came in.
You came in. You staged it. And I didn't only have 2 offers. I had 3 offers in under 5 days. And this home will be one of the higher price per square foot trades for a single family home in the Back Bay.
Wow.
Now, there was only one thing that was different when I sold it, and that was the staging. There was one X factor, and you in Boston Home Stagers was the X factor.
Yep.
That's why when I said I want to do a podcast and have you as my guest, I wanted to do it in this listing because I mean you shared a success story in Burlington, and I feel like that definitely makes sense. Those people gave you a feeling. They asked you to stage or furnish their home. They bought the home because of your furniture. I mean, I can tell you right now that the people loved your furniture when they walked through here. I got 3 offers. It felt like a home. You didn't just, mush all this stuff together. You were very strategic. You thought it through. You understood who the demographic was,
Correct.
who the potential buyer was, and you executed. So to me, this is your biggest success story. I'm obviously biased, and we're sitting here. So, thank you for all your hard work.
Of course.
Thanks
for the opportunity.
For those who are interested in seeing your work and connecting with you, what's the best way to do that?
So my Instagram handle is Boston Stagers. It's the best place to see all the homes that I've staged. You can find me on Facebook as well. And then our website is bostonhomestages.com. Yes, I know.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, everyone, give her a follow, connect with her. I'm not making this up. This thing really sold because of her. So thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for
having me.
having
And best
me,
of luck
George.
in the future.
Thank you.